Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been some time, but I have returned. I am your fruity friend, Peter Stockbridge, and this is Stockbridge Sketchworks. We are back working on our Joaquin Phoenix, and I've had the outline for this sketch done for weeks, just sitting there on my drawing table, and I just been really busy doing other things, and I'll get to all of that. Hopefully I will sort of get to all of it during this episode. I genuinely don't know, but just to explain what's going on here, I am sort of blocking out the background of the picture of what's eventually going to be the picture. This shape that I'm outlining here is the close-up of his hand, which is sort of blurry as opposed to his face, which is in sharp focus. So it's a depth of field shot going on here, and this is kind of the first time I've done this, so I hope I get it right, and I hope it will all turn out okay. We'll find out eventually, but we're probably going to get a fair bit done in this episode. The right side of his hair is the main bulk of it will be done, and I'll start working on his left eye. So there's a fair sort of chunk completed during this episode, and largely it is just blocking things out, making sure everything's all in the right place, I've got all the measurements right, and then it will be a case of going in and adding, organic detail, so to speak, with skin wrinkles and stuff. But you'll see as this episode goes on. So yes, I've taken some time off, and I've had to deal with a number of situations, one of which is some puppies. We were looking after some puppies for a friend during the month of October, and during the month we were promised consistently that everything's going according to plan, and that we would get compensated at the end of the month on a specific date, and the puppies would go. Now, during the course of the month, we discovered that they weren't really looking after them. They kind of, I knew they were bullshitting. I felt it deep in my guts, let's say. And right at the start of the month, I kind of didn't want to do it. I was a bit wary, but I agreed eventually. And yeah, they were coming round inconsistently, and the pups weren't getting much outdoor playtime, and we were kind of doing some of it because we felt bad, and we may have had a slight little tiff with one of our neighbours. I can't really remember. So, but it eventually, because we checked with these people that were coming around to look after them that everything was on course and everything was going okay. And we were assured, obviously, throughout the whole way. But then on the day that they were supposed to go, we get fed some bullshit, and I ended up losing my temper because of the way they were being treated, the way their sort of loose brazen attitude was, coming sort of at 7 o'clock one morning and then 10 o'clock the next morning, and it's no good for a little pup. So I kind of lost my shit with one of them, had a big argument, and sometimes you just have to do these kind of things, just to stand up for what you believe in. Really, these poor little puppies, they were Cane Corso puppies. Don't ask me what they're bred with, because I have no idea, but they're, all nice and cute as puppies, but they grow big and they grow fast. So, it's because of the lockdown. You see, these two people who were selling these pups, and it was going really well. And then, obviously, this latest batch that we were looking after, to a degree, didn't really sell. So they ended up, as far as I understand it, they ended up being taken to a dog's home. And if that wasn't what pissed me off, it was their negligence throughout the month. It was the bullshit that they fed us throughout the month as well. And I was looking forward to that little bit of financial sort of relief there. And I don't care anymore if I sort of come out and say it and I get a visit from, the tax man or whatever. I couldn't give a shit, because we've got nothing to hide, and we can tell the whole fucking story if need be. We don't care anymore. The situation is that it's not over, because the two people need to come and pick up the equipment that they left. They didn't tidy up after them. They didn't do anything, and this argument that we had with them, that I had with them, was just ludicrous. He tried to blame me for his actions. So it's like, well, no, the agreement was that they go on at the end of the month. So, and I knew that I was just talking to a complete so-and-so. But anyway, so yeah, as I said, the situation's not really over, and I kind of just want their equipment gone, out the way, like, seriously. So that's one thing that's done my head in. I've also had to do a project for another client, private one, and I went to start on this Joaquin Phoenix. As you can see, I did the outline, but then I caved into my own fatigue, to be quite honest with you. After the Back to the Future sketch, I just found myself so tired and mentally exhausted, and I didn't really expect that, you see. That kind of took me by surprise, and I wanted to kind of work on my back as well, because, it's not just my back, there's other things, but my back's been killing me, and especially this morning, yesterday morning, the past few mornings, I've just woken up in complete agony. So I've been to the doctors today, and I wanted to get this started today, and I was really annoyed that I woke up in this pain, and the fact that I had to go to the doctors and stuff as well. So anyway, so I'm here now, and surviving, trying to deal with dishonest bellends, and I guess that's one of the things that kind of stunned me a little, really, into wanting to take a break, is just because of the sheer brazen ignorance of some people. It's startling, it's shocking, and it's sad as well, especially when we give them multiple chances. Just be honest, right? That's all it is. You just be honest. We'd have a lot more respect for you if you're honest. Yeah, we might be pissed off about something, but like everything else, it's temporary, right? And what will last is the fact that you were honest. That's what people are going to remember. So you can see there on the right here, we've got one of his fingers in place. The coloring's probably not perfect, but as I said, it's just really sort of a blocking stage right now, so I'm happy with it for the minute. We're shooting straight on with his hair, and I've decided to go for a sort of fairly luminous type of green for the mainnet as a base layer, and after that we're going to go sort of over it again with the dark green and then add in the shades. Again, this is all just sort of a blocking thing. I want to just tear through this particular bit, because then in between episodes I can go through and maybe add some more detail. I might include some of that in the next episode, so we'll see. So, two movies that I've seen recently, and I think it's probably worth me talking about them. The first movie I saw was June, the new June. Just massively disappointed. It was above everything else. It was the pacing, you know. It just felt like it was dragging, and I wasn't really getting into the story because it wasn't really being explained very well. I mean, don't get me wrong, the set pieces, the cinematography was fantastic, and what they had established at this point, you know, creatively was really good, but they cut so much out of the fucking book, and they didn't really sort of explain things well enough. And I think another thing that really spoiled it was the cast. I kind of wanted a fairly unknown cast, and I think we did for the most part, but I didn't want to see Dave Bautista. I didn't want to see oh crap, what's that guy who plays Thanos? Him, right? Josh Brolin. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see Aquaman. I've forgotten his name as well. You know what I mean? I just kept being reminded of a superhero movie. Now, it's not necessarily their fault, but one of the kind of fundamentals that I've always believed in when it comes to certain types of science fiction is that you have to abide by certain rules, I think, you know. Like if it's a sort of a futuristic world set on Earth, so like, you know, Blade Runner, etc., then you can afford to take a few liberties, you know. You can cut a few corners so that we can fill in the gaps. But when it comes to sort of an alien world that we have no fucking clue about, there needs to be a little bit more hand-holding initially. And you know, when people say, oh, you know, sometimes you can't translate a book that well, it was an impossible translation, and I'm like, well, so was Lord of the Rings. I don't believe in that. I really don't. I don't believe in an impossible translation from book to film. I believe there's always a way. And if, you know, it really just comes down to a lack of talent, a lack of ability. I'm not saying Denis Villeneuve has no talent. He's really good at what he does, but it's the pacing. He needs to go back to school on the pacing, because he dwells too much on some shots, and it really just irritated me after a while. And yeah, yeah, there was something else about it. It's not, I don't know, just disappointed. There was so much, man, that they missed. And I'm not looking forward to the next one, even if it turns out to be good. You know, there's still the first one, and anyway, you know, I don't know. There might be a director's cut. There might be a super cut. I have no idea. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm really not holding my breath on that one, to be honest. And the next one that I saw was No Time to Die, the latest James Bond movie. And I've got to say that was absolutely fab. Absolutely fab. Brilliant movie. If you like your James Bond, this is a good one. It ends really well. A lot of people are divided on the ending, and some people don't like what happens. I personally love it. I thought it was exactly what the Doctor ordered. It's what needed to kind of happen. And I actually, well, my friend reminded me that I mentioned that this ending needed to happen way back at college. And, you know, we were at college in 96, 97 and 98 or something like that. And I said it then. You know, I said that, you know, if there's going to be any gravitas, we need to have this specific thing happen to the character. And I'm so happy that they took that brave step to do that. But of course, you see what it's done is it's fueled speculation, which I guess is only healthy. But everyone's afraid now that Bond might suddenly become a female, or, you know, woke, whatever it is. But nah, she, you know, Barbara Broccoli, the person in charge, is sort of clarified that it won't happen. And, you know, Bond is a male character, he's a chauvinistic pig, so, you know, that's the way the character is, and that's the way it's got to be. So it will be interesting to see what happens, you know, with the next one, because you know, Daniel Craig's time as Bond is sort of James Bond story in a nutshell, really, from beginning to end. If you really want to know what Bond is all about, then you watch those, I guess. But, you know, it's such an institutional thing, Bond. It's very much a British heritage now, you know, and the fact that it's lasted decades and it's transformed, it's evolved. I have nothing but praise for it, really. I mean, some of the Bond films were shite. I'm not going to name some, well, any, but you know, they're all good in their own right, and everyone loves, you know, at least one of them. So I don't know, you know, but anyway, it was a very good film. So I do highly recommend that. I can't say that I recommend Dune, so, but I do definitely recommend Bond, James Bond. I also went through a period of just not wanting to do art during my break, you know. I actually got a little bit worried, as I normally do during these lull moments where it's like, time's dragging on. I'm you know, I'm starting to feel really bad here, and I should really sort of crack on and stuff. But then that kind of spins out into its own sort of thing, and I get sort of, you know, claustrophobic almost with the workload that I have to do. But then the next day comes and I'm absolutely fine about it. I can tackle it. It's not a problem. So this has sort of happened enough times with me that I knew that at some point I'd be fine again. And now I've essentially recognized the pattern of how I work, or how I will be working, which is why I did say that I will commit myself to doing what I say I will do, but it may not be during the month that I say it will be done in, right? So every month, at the start of every month, I'll post a news video and I'll let everyone know where I am. I mean, obviously you'll know whether I've completed something because it's been uploaded. But in terms of the following sketch that's listed or scheduled, there will be an update of that if it hasn't started yet, you know, that kind of thing. So I'll spend the next sort of, well, at least into the start of 2022. I've got a number of big plans for the next year for this channel. I've got some big sort of projects coming up that I'll be doing on the channel. I'm building myself up to it. I feel like I'm brave enough, so I will be sort of announcing all of that side probably in the new year, New Year's Day, or sort of in January, something like that. I do hope you like these videos and the work that I do. If you aren't already aware, I do everything for free. All you have to really do is subscribe to the channel and request things. It's a good idea to stay subscribed because you know, every month have a rolling chance to have your sketch picked if I haven't already picked it yet. At this stage of the game, it's very likely that I will be doing yours. You know what I mean? So take the chance, give it a go. Email me, put in a comment on one of my YouTube videos. I will pretty much see it instantly, and you know, we can talk about it. So as of this moment, I should have really said in the news video, but I will probably sort of mention it at the start of the December news, depending on where I am. But I, at this moment, am sort of booked and full till sort of end of December / January. So that is the current waiting time. That is as of this recording, bear in mind. So if you want the latest info, just let me know, contact me, or check my Instagram page or the news, the latest news video. But like other channels, I'm not going to beg for your subscription. It's completely up to you. I genuinely do things for free. Whether you want to make a donation or not is completely up to you. There's no pressure either way. I don't even have a donation button up, so it's not like I'm fishing for it, you know what I mean? I am literally doing this just because I want to. I'm in a very comfortable, happy, and peaceful situation at the moment, and I pray that it lasts. So I'm not ruling out a Patreon button in the future, but you know, I don't know. As things stands at the moment, I don't really care about making money. It's not my interest. What is my interest is making people happy with art, believe it or not. We had a discussion the other day, me and my other friend, about who should play the next Bond, and it's a tough one, you know. It is a tough one because you want to go for someone who isn't, you know, famous, you know, like A-list famous, and you don't want to go for a total unknown. You want to kind of go for someone that's on the fringe, right? Someone who's known, who's been in some stuff, but he's kind of sort of, say, like on the rise, you know. My friend pointed out someone from, I think it was Walking Dead. I haven't seen that show, so I couldn't tell you which character he mentioned, but it wasn't, you know, any of the main guys. I think it was someone sort of, you know, nah, I can't remember his name. For me, I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be probably nice to see. Now, I came up with the perfect actor, actually. I've forgotten it. But, you know, it is a tough one. And, you know, obviously the guy has to be British. And you know, look, Bond is British and he's a chauvinistic pig, and he's, you know, as Dame Judi Dench's M character said at one point, "You're a relic of the Cold War," you know, and he kind of is. You know, he's a very sexist, chauvinistic pig, but you know, there's a reason why he's like that. I'm not saying it's a justified reason, but you know, that is the world that he lives in. It's a cutthroat world. He's trying to save a lot of people, and you know, I guess I don't know. I guess that justifies it, I suppose. Anyway, I don't know. It's a story. So you can, yeah, okay. So we're getting there now towards the end of this episode, and you can see we've actually done quite a bit. Started even working on his makeup, and I've started sketching in some of the defining elements of the makeup, the white makeup around on his sort of, you know, the foundation white makeup there. Working on his left eye as well. I don't want to overdo it with the sort of the fleshy tones in between the makeup and the eye. I feel like I may have gone too far with the skin tone on the right between his hair and makeup. I mean, I think it looks a bit too orangey from here, so I might just sort of go through it again and change it up a little bit. So just working in those eyebrows there. It's funny. It's really funny how I can just jump into this kind of thing, you know, jumping in and out. Yeah, I'm still sort of unsure about what to put in the background. I know that it's going to be graded from black up to something, and there's going to be, I don't know, some sort of something to do with his mental health, because this film focuses on the mental health, the psychology of the character, rather than, you know, sort of blockbuster superhero or anti-superhero movie, whatever you want to label it as. This is very much focused in a different area, and I want to kind of exemplify that somehow. So maybe some Rorschach tests going on in the background. I don't know. We shall see. But there's definitely going to be that grade from black up. So that's why there's that black sort of block there behind the blurred finger. So yeah, I'm going in now and starting to add some of the semi details there. You know, art is such a good thing. It's such a good thing, and I pray that other people give it a go and give it a shot. And if you want to know where this goes, catch me on the next episode. And until then, take care.